Boom, boom, boom. We live, people. What's going on?
So
Everybody, welcome to Read the Fine Print, the show. We are live with Julio and Dr. Taur and of the All Figured Out
Yes, figure.
.com, the movement. Thank
sir.
you, brothers, for doing this with me, man. I know we didn't plan on going live. It's kind of sort of like I did an audible on y'all, but y'all complied and y'all here. So what's
That's
going on?
cool.
So let me get to the sponsor. So I'm sponsoring the show. So y'all can go to my my Gumroad. So my Gumroad is gumroad.com/deeperthere15. It has some legal templates. It got some ebooks in there. It's also I got All Figured Out. This is their website. Y'all go check that out. It's a movement. These brothers are doing some wonderful things. Go follow them on all social media. I believe it's All Figured Out everywhere, right? I'm correct.
All figured out everywhere. What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's
Like
right
on
now. It's Instagram and YouTube.
Right.
Instagram,
Gotcha.
yeah, Instagram and YouTube, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
what's going on with you, brothers? So I don't know. One of y'all introduce yourselves, man. I
Yo,
got your bio.
Travius.
D-Trade.
Yo, listen, bruh.
Yeah,
I am so happy to see you. It's like this
yeah,
is like it's been a long time, well overdue. Thank you for
yeah.
having me on your podcast.
Uh,
Yes, I am Julio Mathieuesque-lawyer. We met
mm,
in law school with me and Travius.
uh,
You could my brand name is Matthew West. I'm trying to build on that
mm.
with there. So what else do you want me to say? Like how do we
Nah, just
typically?
give it. So you a lawyer? So you what's your law practice? What do you practice? What's your practice law?
Oh, right. So what
Yeah,
do I practice? I
mm,
don't practice actually.
you don't.
I'm actually a
Okay,
financial regulator. No, I still have
financial
my
regulator.
license though. Yeah, I still
Okay,
have my license, but I am a financial regulator. Um, so I've been doing that for the last 4 years.
okay,
And yeah, so that's kind of what I do. So I'm you know external auditor essentially.
okay. Dr. Taur, what's up with you, man? Get the
So
people. Tell the people who you are.
yeah. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
So I'm Dr. Tor from Brooklyn, New York. Right now, I live in Delaware, but I work back in New York, Jamaica, Queens, ER doctor out there. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Just finished that sentence of a COVID stretch. So we was like I
gotcha.
was in the epicenter of the epicenter down there dealing with that. So I'm blessed to make it on the other side of that.
Yeah, you was on ground zero for real, huh? In New
Yeah,
York.
yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. It's funny. Julio and Dr. Taur did exactly what. This is a funny story because we had a little pregame before, but I didn't know you were from Brooklyn, right? And the reason, so Brooklyn, I got a love and hate relationship with Brooklyn cats because
Here
one,
we go. Here we go.
within 5 minutes, you know a joker from Brooklyn. So Julio, I never knew he was from Brooklyn until like after law school. Now I had to know in law school, but Dr. Taur, you saw how he was like Dr. Taur from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He said that immediately, man. Like Brooklyn cats always let you know they'll find a way to let you know they from Brooklyn. Like, yo, it's nice outside. You be like, yo, in Brooklyn, like the sunsets be mad real.
Oh my gosh.
That's a fact.
Really?
That's a fact, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, brothers, for like again, thank y'all for taking out the time. And I know everybody got lives and families or whatever, and I really do appreciate y'all coming on to the platform. So let's jump right into it, man. So let's talk about one, how y'all doing in COVID? Let's start with there, man. Because
How we doing with COVID?
yeah, how you
Doctor?
doing in this COVID world, mentally, physically?
I've been blessed. I've been blessed to be able to work from home throughout the
Uh-huh.
whole stretch, and I'm just lucky that my job has that kind of capabilities to allow that, and my family has been healthy. Thank goodness. Uh, but I think for the most part, like what it has done, like this whole COVID environment, it kind of like I mentioned before, it kind of exposed like my blessings, like things that like a lot of people are suffering, a lot of people are losing their jobs and stuff like that. So it's been like I don't know, like a kind of like what's the word? It's kind of like a revelation, like like how much how much I am blessed and how much I can do to kind of help other people, to at least get to where I am, or get some kind of security, or for any kind of support I have. So that's kind of my whole, how I've been dealing with COVID. I didn't get the vaccine yet though.
Okay. Hey, Dr.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
You will talk about that.
Dr.
Tour, how you doing in this COVID world? You was at ground zero, so
I was. Oh man, it was scary times. I gotta admit, it was rough. Definitely a struggle. Seeing the worst of the worst, But I would have to say 2020, gave a lot of people 2020 vision on what really matters. You know what I mean, in life in general. But yeah, I'm blessed to say that I never got really sick. I do know a lot of people that got sick. Obviously, I took care of a lot of sick and dying people, which was horrific. Which was stories I could write books on. But yeah, it was some tough times. Right now, the numbers are coming down nicely, which is great, is a blessing. Hopefully there's no new variant that's going to come out soon or anything like that. I definitely recommend everybody get their vaccine because I believe it does work. I'm probably going to keep my mask on for another 5 years or so, when I'm out in the public.
5 years?
5 years. Yeah, I don't really trust that much because I remember how it started and how a lot of people were saying it's not going to be this, it's not going to be that. And then boom, you know what I mean? We was hit really hard where I was at, I'm in Jamaica, Queens. So I'm right near the airport, the JFK. Yeah. So, we got it all for sure.
Yeah, I used to live out there. But I'm letting you know I'm gonna give you credit though. I'm still in the 2020, gave us 2020 vision. I like that. That was smooth. I'm still in that. So as a doctor, so this is great, right? Because as a doctor, you're saying you're going to keep your mask on for 5 years. Go deeper into that for additional 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, as I occasionally turn on CNN, you still see, there's a lot of cases in a lot of different countries. I mean, as we were dropping our guard, there was record numbers of deaths in India and Brazil and things like that. And then in certain places, They have these new variants and these new strains. So, hopefully the science is right and the CDC got it correct this time. But I mean, I don't know if you guys remember initially they were saying, maybe we don't got to wear masks. Then they were saying we got to wear masks. Then they were saying double up on masks, so, and now they're saying, you don't got to wear a mask at all anymore. So sometimes I feel like, it's consumerism that may be pushing some of these, policies and things like that, rather than the science and medicine.
Interesting.
Got you. So let's rewind a little bit. But I'm glad you explained that and expounded on it, because I think people need to hear that. And the reason I asked you about your mentals and your physical, it's just one of the things that I'm real intentional with the messaging, because I don't think Black men specifically get asked that question enough. Like, how are you mentally doing? Like, for real, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to start that off. I hope the people are not annoyed by it, but I generally ask everybody how they doing in this COVID, post-COVID. Well, we still in COVID, so it's not even a post-COVID world yet.
Absolutely.
But let's jump to the beginning. Y'all both from Brooklyn. Y'all knew each other as kids?
We met in college actually.
Okay.
I think it's about half our lives that we've known each other, right, Dr. Tour?
Yeah, interesting. I was Julio's from Coney Island. I was born in Coney Island, but I met him like freshman year of undergrad. Yeah.
And where did y'all go to school at?
Albany.
Yeah,
Great Danes.
Okay.
Upstate New York.
Upstate. Yeah. And what y'all was Julia, you Coney Island, and where Dr. Tour, where you was raised at?
I was actually raised a little bit in Coney Island, East New York, but a lot on Roosevelt Island, which is in between Queens and Manhattan. It's like a little island in between Queens and Manhattan. Okay,
so how was Brooklyn? So I'm assuming y'all came of age in the 90s, because y'all around my age. We all around the same age. How was Brooklyn in the 90s for y'all?
I mean, it's rough. Brooklyn is very, very rough. It's kind of like, survival of the fittest, in Brooklyn. You kind of learn very early, how to survive and how to conduct yourself, So but at the same time, you know, it gives you a lot of swagger, a lot of you know, a lot of exposure to a lot of you know, a lot of it, like everything. So for me, growing up in Brooklyn was a blessing, and it was I always like it's interesting. A lot of people from Brooklyn, they have an appreciation for, you know, the rough part. It's like, you know, like the fact that they survived that, they went through the fire, and that's kind of like how I kind of view my childhood in Brooklyn. You know, it's a lot of yeah. So that's kind of like my take on that.
Yeah. I grew up on Biggie and Jay-Z, so you know, and balling, you know, all the New York point guards and stuff like that. I wanted to either ball or rap or whatever. So you know, then I went up to Albany, tried to play a little ball there.
Right.
Stumbled across medicine, you know, my last year in Albany. So you know, and the rest was written. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you better than Julio in ball?
Well, that's how I met him. I dunked on him. I came down.
Oh my gosh.
And then I kind of apologized, and then he was asking me how I did that and how I crossed him like that. So you know, I was, you know, basically mentored him a little bit in the ball game too. So yeah.
Got you. I used to tease Julio. He used to share the videos of him with his handles, right, doing all this crazy stuff. But he would never share a video of his shot. I said, "Yeah, I want to see you shooting the ball, bro." And he was like, "I don't know if he ever. I still don't know if he ever shared a video of him shooting the ball, man." I was like, "Yo, he got handles, but can you shoot?"
They just running me. They just dragging me, guys. Wow.
So how did y'all come up with? So we go. Let's Oh, so parents, yeah, Julio, well, tell me about your childhood. Like your parents, where your parents from? Two-family household.
Yeah, two-family household. Both my parents are from Haiti. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. Yeah, very stable. I mean, very stable, traditional household. We grew up Catholic, and I mean, I mean, I have a brother. You know, I have a half sister. You know, there's nothing really. I mean, they're very, very strict. The thing that I remember the most, like as a child, is my pops wanted me to comb my hair every single time, and you know, and me trying to be like, hey, listen, this is the style. We got to keep it in, like this is how you rock your hair. But so it's one of those things where, you know, the lessons that I got when I was younger, you know, like a lot of the, you know, just being proper, like education, et cetera, I didn't really get to appreciate until I got older. You know, I was absorbing it, but I was, you know, but internally, but externally, I was kind of like, you know, kind of being a rebel. So I really definitely appreciate, you know, having that two-family household for sure.
Yeah, Dr. Taur, what about you? How was your household?
I'm from what they call foundationally black, or you know,
Black America.
Yeah. So you with the eight eyes or whatever they call it.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to have a 2-parent household too. Moms and dad were strict. You know, we grew up. I grew up in the church. You know, going to Sunday school and all that when I was younger. And then, you know, when I got into high school, I kind of reared away from that. But it was a lot of us. I'm like the middle of 6. If there's a middle of 6, I got an older brother in LA. Who's been doing the stand-up comedy thing for a long time. So, you know, so he's doing it big out there. Still doing big things, writing for shows and stuff like that, and a lot of stand-up comedy tours and on Netflix and all of that. So he's doing it big. And then I got, you know, sisters and stuff like that still in New York and Brooklyn and stuff like that. So yeah. Got you.
And so I'm gonna tell you how you got on the show. So Julio, he had shared a post about his achievement in why can't I say it now? Why can't I think of it? Toastmasters. And I hit him like, yo, you got to come on the show, man. I was like, I didn't even know you was doing that. So let me rewind. So the reason why we was pre-gaming, I was like, I'm gonna say it for the record. The reason why I was so surprised, one, I've been meaning to do Toastmasters for years now. Like it got to be at least 5 years where I'm like, you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm just going. But they always have like meetings like in the middle of the day, like at lunchtime, and I'm like, I can't really make the meetings, but I got to figure out a way to do it. But when he shared it, I was surprised that he should. One, I congratulate him because I don't take those things lightly. But he was like, if there's anybody from our law school class, I would, and they were like, yo, this guy's gonna be, or this guy or gal, he, she, they, whatever people are using nowadays, is gonna be like, this award-winning Toastmasters person. I wouldn't have said he wouldn't have been the last person, but I wouldn't have been like Julio. And the reason why is not because he can't speak or anything. Obviously, he's very articulate. He was just very quiet, at least when I was around. So I would have never guessed that he would be that person. So, and when I hit him up, he's like, yo, so he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. He's like, but can I bring my partner on? So you gotta give that man credit because he brought you along for the ride. He's like, yo, can I bring my partner on? I was like, nah, it's no problem. So but basically, like, so this is Julio. This is a question for you, Dr. Taur. If you doing it, jump in. How did you get into Toastmasters? What made you do it? Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. By the way, I appreciate that story. So basically, my like working as a lawyer before I got into financial regulatory work, it was a lot of transactional work. So I didn't really have to speak or anything like that, and I had a huge fear of speaking before, because I had stuttering and all that good stuff. But once I got into the financial regulatory space, you had to speak with so many people. You had to speak with CEOs, you got to speak with investors, you got to speak with your managers, directors, et cetera, and it's constant. So it put me in a constant state of anxiety, and I was like, okay, this is not good. Like like I appreciate everything I'm learning in this space, but at the same time, I can't just have this fear all the time. So thankfully, at my job, there was a Toastmasters they have a Toastmasters like a thing there, right? So they're a part of Toastmasters International, and my manager just suggested, hey, you could try this, if you're serious about self improvement. So I was dumb scared, but I was like, you know what, I'm trying to develop my skills and whatnot. So I joined it, and the rest was history, because straight from my law school days, the work ethic is there. Like you guys know, both you guys, lawyer, doctor, so every day, every meeting, I was just building my skills, and I went from what was it? I'm not only a member, but I'm the Toastmasters president, essentially. Right. So
that's dope. Yeah.
And
now. But go ahead. So I was on. So like I said, so Dr. Taur, so you know him from before I knew him. So he was just like this quiet dude. But what's the name? We got a classmate that was like, yo, Julio ain't quiet. Don't let him fool you. I'm like, yo, I only got him. But then after we worked together, I was like, he's not quiet. He's just not gonna necessarily be like the person that it's interesting that you say you anxiety. He's not gonna necessarily be that person, at least around in law school. Like this is gonna be just walking up to people and talking to people. So that's so it's interesting that you not interesting. That's a great thing that you saw that and went after you address your fears and try to get better, man. That's what's up, man. And Dr. So how did you get into medicine? Because you say you discovered medicine your last year, so you must have had an interest before that. You was trying to be a rapper.
Yeah. Oh man, I was trying to do a lot of things. But before I jump on that, I would like to thank Julio for putting me on the Toastmasters as well, because I had my first meeting last week, which I thought.
How did it go?
It was great. It was great. It was definitely eye opening. I know. I remember Jerry Seinfeld. He got a joke. He says, people, the number one fear that people have is public speaking. Public speaking is the number one fear everybody has, more than death. So that means people rather be in the casket than the one giving the eulogy, right? So when he said that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm the type of person that I believe in like the 10,000 hour rule, that if you practice anything for 10,000 hours, you're gonna get good at it. So I don't see myself as a great public speaker. I'm probably on the lower end. So if I just give myself 10,000 hours of it, who knows? I might become good. So yeah.
Okay. Right.
And I think that's what Toastmasters gives you, that opportunity, to just keep practicing until you master that craft. Because public speaking opens up a lot of doors. I believe, especially in leadership skills and stuff like that, leadership opportunities and doing things like this.
Yeah. So how did you become a doctor? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So medicine was interesting. I mean, I wasn't like the type of person that grew up around doctors or knowing a doctor in my family, or I had close friends to a doctor. It was just, I just kind of like stumbled across it. I had a suite mate that might have had a biology book open, and he was doing pre-med. And then I met a girlfriend like senior year in college who was doing pre-med. And then I said, you know what, let me just take one of these classes, because everybody's saying that these classes are hard. And I was kind of all over the place. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing on the ball court. I had little nagging injuries here or there. But I was good. I honestly still feel like I just need one more summer and I might be able to make the league or the D League or something like that. I just need one more summer.
You need one more summer?
I just need one more summer just to get it right. Crossover better. But yeah, so I just took a few classes, and then I surprisingly was getting A's, and then I was talking to this person and that person. It's like, oh, why don't you just take the MCAT, the entry exam, see what happens there? Then I did pretty good there. And then it was like, you know what, why don't you just apply? And I applied. So it wasn't like something that I was thinking of since, grade school or anything like that. It's just I kind of stumbled across it. And then as I kept going, I realized, maybe this is what I was supposed to do. So I feel like it chose me and I didn't really choose it,
Wow. I like that.
Wow. I like that. Yeah.
Detravius, can I say something real quick?
Man, we having a conversation. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm just saying, because that story is so similar to mine, because I remember, when I was in college, and I didn't know what I wanted to be. Like I was a communications major. When I graduated, I was like, my mom was saying, pursue law. Like what else do you have to lose?
Uh-huh.
And she had a point. So I took a year off. I took a year off to earn some money to take this law course, this LSAT course, and I surprised myself, just like Dr. Taur, like how well I did. And I was like, wow, like all this time that, I was looking at these pre-law majors in college, like they all came in very conservative looking with, they all, they were all white, and they were all, just very preppy and whatnot. And I was like, I used to come to class with white tee, my cornrows, and they just didn't look. They were just like polar.
You had the oversized hat, because you still had them in law school.
Of course, the
oversized fitted. Yeah.
So it was like that. So it's like so it surprised me, and it's crazy how it surprised Torian and I mean Dr. Taur, and that's essentially like I think a lot of people like out there. There's a lot of young people just like us who kind of don't feel like they could make it, because they don't see people like them in these professional arenas. So so that's essentially the reason why we joined the whole All Figured Out thing, to just get more exposure.
Yeah, we gonna get there. We got to walk them through. We got to walk them through it.
I know, but this is like a moment right there. But okay, all right,
got you. So yeah, Cynthia, thanks for the comment. She said, "Hi, I was just listening to your story. That's awesome." So I don't know which one, but they both had awesome stories though. So let's just jump into it, man. Since you walking me through that, All Figured Out. How did that come about? What is it? First, to answer that, what is it? What is about? How did it come about? And and then what are y'all goals for that?
I mean, I think Dr. Taur, I don't know. Like we at first, it's our friendship. First of all, was very unique. Me being a licensed attorney, he being a licensed doctor. And at first, I think we were thinking about a name. What we come up with black excellence, because we were like black people trying to be extra, to be extra, trying to, but really, kind of like I mentioned before, like there was not a lot of exposure to people who were relatable, like attorneys, lawyers. Quick story, like I remember when I got accepted to Howard Law, and they invited me to some kind of some sponsorship, some party, from some law firm to to congratulate the new acceptees, right,
Right.
to the law school. And I remember when I got there, I was expecting to have see people like me and people, some relatable Black people, but all those guys with the suits, they all look very smug, they were arrogant, they were very square looking, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
geez, and I felt so so ashamed because I didn't talk like them, I didn't look like them, I was kind of relying on my sister, because I brought my sister, she's a doctor, so I was like relying on her to kind of show that, okay, I'm worthy of being in your circle, essentially. So that kind of element was something that I never appreciated, and it's something that I felt like they needed to see people like myself. They need to see people like Dr. Taur in these professional arenas, because it's just like we mentioned before, it surprises a lot of people. When we I mean, you can surprise yourself by by how much you actually do know and how much capabilities you do have. So that was my inspiration for pursuing starting this whole thing for All Figured Out. And I don't know if you want to add anything, Dr. Taur.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically what you said. I mean, I feel like there's a group of people out there who feel like they may have made some mistakes or made some choices in the past, or didn't go to school or didn't start when they were supposed to, or picked the wrong major, and they may feel like they're not able to still reach whatever level they want to reach. But me and Mathieuesque, we're living proof that you could go down the wrong path, make a U-turn and find that right path. You know what I mean? So when I was coming up, I wasn't an angel. I mean, I used to get in trouble, and I think those times that I got into trouble led me to the right path. I don't really regret anything that I've done in the past. Maybe a few things, but it's like these mistakes that you make, it turns, you could always turn it around. So that's why we're trying to reach those individuals, and even those individuals who just not sure what they want to do. Mainly the people the people who don't have that many examples, and just to show them this is what you could do. You could still do this. You could still become a doctor. You could still become a lawyer, entrepreneur, whatever you want to do. This is the blueprint.
Gosh, and I think that what's great about the time we living in is that we could tell our stories, right? We don't need the middleman to tell our stories, that have people talking like you're a doctor you got a doctor with 2 lawyers, 2 Black. I didn't know any Black doctors growing up.
Right.
I didn't know any Black lawyers growing up. And it's just like, I'm originally from Patterson, but mother took me out the hood. We moved out of the hood when I was 13, but she was single parent, had me at 17. And for me, it's funny that when I was hearing y'all talk about why you went into why you doing Toastmasters, and I was telling Julio before, like I've said, it's been on my radar for years, because I'm just like, I got to get better. But at one time, I got rid of this early. I probably earlier than Julio, when I was like, I stutter a little bit sometimes. And I was just like, but this is me. So y'all gonna have to love me or hate me. But I was like, I can get better. So I was like, I'm still gonna do Toastmasters. Y'all definitely motivating me to do it. But it's like you spoke on, Julia, you hit on this notion of being worthy. Speak on that more, being worthy of being in the spot, although you are already there. Man. So because you're there, you're already worthy. Whether you,
but my drive, I just found out that I could, pursue law, get into law school. So essentially, being in that circle. So I was just a young 17-year-old kid. Well, actually, no, sorry. This is after college. So I was a young 22-year-old kid, in this mixer with grown lawyers, and for the most part, the other individuals who were accepted, they all were, at least to me, they all seemed very polished, and they all, looked like they knew that they wanted to be a lawyer all their lives. And that's something that I did not. I didn't know anything about law, right? I just knew that I was somewhat smart, and that's about it. So just being around that, or like, and it was the same thing in law school. Just being around that environment where I just people just knew where they want to be, and they just knew like who to talk to, and they just knew like how to approach themselves. Like they were so focused on their future, where I was just trying to figure out my future, right? So that's for me, that's where the insecurity came from. That's where the inadequacy came from, and feeling like I was not worthy to being around there. So that's essentially what I meant by that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Dr. Taur, how have your experience been in the medical field? Like you entering that, going from, because you said you discovered it at, your senior year too, your last year. How has that journey been?
Yeah, that was it was interesting. I felt like still I'm still in it, every year, every patient I encounter, I'm learning something. I remember when I started my residency in the Bronx, that was kind of difficult, because that was a different environment. It was basically seeing both sides of the world. You know what I mean? It's going from kids in med school who their parents are rich, or they're more fortunate, and then going back to the hood, to the Bronx, and treating these patients who are, who look more like me, and then going back, so it's a lot of hats. I feel like you have to constantly, put on, take off. And at the same time, you just got to be true to yourself, so the medicine field is a very conservative field, is not that many of us in it, so you try to, you kind of always feel like, you kind of could be yourself, but not too much of yourself, because it's a conservative field. And, so that's where I was in the beginning of it. And then, I started to, as we progressed and we wanted to come out with this platform, the All Figured Out platform, we said, this is the time where we could actually show that we could actually be ourselves, and that people need to be themselves, regardless of what field that they're trying to get into. They need to be themselves. They need to open up and not be afraid, because when you make a field so conservative, and you make it seem like it's out of reach to the others, you know what I mean? So that's why, if we're more relatable, if people could see us, we out there playing ball, we out there, enjoying the same music, the rap, the hip hop, like everybody else, and we're doctors, we're lawyers, then that gives the younger people to say, you know what, doctors and lawyers are not just, suit and ties, and not just,
yeah,
all,
I think
library,
Yeah. I think we got to be intentional with that. I'm intentional with that. And I don't know if it's I think 5-10 years from now, we will see like if I'm right or we're right. Because I think a lot of time we put on the airs too, right? So like we put on the suit and tie, and we're trying to show people that we're quote unquote polished, you know what I'm saying? Versus like, man, this is what I do. Like I mispronounce salmon sometimes, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't, you know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're smarter than me or that I'm not worthy. So I do think that, and Julio, you're right. I feel like a lot of the people we went to law school with, and I'm sure you, Dr. Taur, with med school, they were more polished than me and you, but a lot of them were putting on too. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that. Like a lot of them did come from like what law school exposed me to personally was like, it was the first time that I was really around what I call Cosby kids. So it was like their parents are professionals. Like your parents a doctor, a lawyer, and you know what I'm saying? Like my mom just works, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I only saw that on television. So like when I'm seeing it real live, and I was in my mid to late 20s, so I didn't go all the way through, you know what I mean? Like straight. And this is like, that was like my first time really being exposed to like, oh, yo, like Cliff Huxtable really exists, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
actually, it's funny you say that, because I was a Cosby kid, my
Yeah.
father was a doctor, so he
Yeah.
retired.
Uh,
So I had that kind of background, right?
uh,
But it's not something that I embraced because like a lot of
uh,
my friends, they weren't Cosby kids.
uh,
So it's like, so when I was exposed to the people in law school, they like fully embraced that, and they were,
uh,
there's a word that we use, like bougie. They had that bouginess and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that, which was kind of crazy to me. But the arrogance, the whole only thing about like arrogance, the whole purpose of arrogance is intimidation, right?
Uh-huh.
That's how I kind of feel like. But
Uh-huh.
sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to just let it be
Nah.
known,
So go
like,
ahead, man. Yeah.
I just wanted to let it be known that I'm not fronting over here. I was a Cosby kid,
Nah.
so
Nah, you never gave off that. Like I said, in front of me, when we was around with each other, you always was like, you definitely not quiet, but you weren't necessarily like a person that I would label as fronting. I mean, it was some people I was fronting in law school, but I ain't gonna say their name. Yeah,
you ain't
the old me would have said y'all names, but I reformed. My mom been praying for me and all that, so I ain't gonna say y'all names. Y'all know who y'all were. Y'all are.
That's what. Law
Yeah, so
school is dope though.
yeah. So I think it's interesting because I think that goes to the notion of like this whole notion of being black, when you was like, yo, you didn't embrace the bouginess, for the lack of a better term, right? The being the bougie. And we went to school with people that definitely embraced it. And there's also people that rejected it too. Like, yo, like I know people that like I said, I'm not gonna say no names, that parents are like, very well to do, and you would think that they would just like somebody from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like the Brooklyn,
Hey.
like not hold on, you ain't let me finish. the Jay-Z Brooklyn, like the
Right.
Morrissey single parent home person that sold drugs, and they like, bro, you went to private school your whole life, you've been in Jack and Jill. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax, it's cool. But that's part of the identity thing too. And I mean, you got two, I guess people calling it ADOS or ADOS, whatever they calling it. And then you got, you the child of an immigrant. It's like this whole notion of identity, because it comes from within it, but it also comes from without. Like, how do we interact with the world? You know what I'm saying? And it's like our perception of. So there's two things going on. It's how people see us. So you're dealing with the outside world. So that's when, like, the what you call it, the politics that the proper policies, you got to have the right name and all that type of stuff. Like, that's when that comes into play a lot. And then there's also how do we see ourselves in the world? And like I said, like, we all got different perspectives on, everybody got their own perspective of the world, but it's interesting to see like how this notion of blackness, whether it's immigrant, child of immigrant, African American, like how that all plays out in real time.
Yeah, and you're not, and you're quoting, you're pretty much talking about a theory that W.E.D. Du Bois mentioned.
Yeah, double consciousness. Yeah,
a long time ago. So
yeah.
that's interesting. Like that thing is still in existence now. And it's crazy. Double consciousness, because we living in a double America essentially.
Yeah.
We have Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, Derek Chauvin. You said you wanted to talk about that. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's just very, like, people. I mean, we're lawyers, so we know, we have some understanding of, like, what's realistic in terms of sentencing. But when people, when you talk about a murder that disrupted the foundation of America, right? And to so very visible, and then to get 22 and a half years.
Yeah.
And I think Dr. Toy, you mentioned that it's probably gonna be like 15 or something like that. Like, in reality,
I don't know. He may have to serve the full 22.5, but I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's like it's
yeah. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I mean, we understand, like, the reasoning behind that. And as Black people, we always had that hypothetical, like, if he were Black, would that happen? Like would he only get 22 years? Blah blah blah. So I mean, like, I know some people in my circle that they're really upset about the sentencing, the amount. But I mean, justice is justice. Like, I mean, there was a time when he would have, like, someone like that would have not even been convicted at all.
Or tried, not even charged.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Charged, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. And where was I going? That's a great point, because I'm gonna be 100% transparent. Like, I haven't been following the case at all. I haven't watched the video, and it's been intentional though. So it's been like, Dr. Taur, we all could relate to this. We all dealing with COVID at the same time. It's just like, I have to be more protective of my mental, and that's why I fell back on Facebook too a lot. One, it stopped being fun as it used to be, and then it's just like, you gotta. What I was seeing before COVID hit was like, it's a lot of people just being mad, fake mad anyway, I call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they outraged, and it's like, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily see that in my timeline and bringing that in my spirit. And at the end of the day, what you input always affects you, whether you realize it or not. And it's this is one of those things where I haven't been looking, but I'm glad he was tried and convicted. But again, I agree with you. I don't think it was enough time. Like, this man literally killed this man on camera. And, it's just crazy, man. But I haven't seen the video, and I refuse to see the video. I haven't
seen it either. I haven't seen it either.
I honestly think that's amazing that you guys haven't seen the video, because I mean, it's all over the place. So that's pretty amazing. And like you said, Julio, the significance of what he did, I feel like right now, Juneteenth is a holiday, probably because of this, right? Because of this incident.
Yeah, probably.
Right. And it's and I feel like it's a slap on the wrist. And I just was listening to his family, and it was like, we got life. We got literally life, and he only got 22.5 years. And when he gets out, he's gonna be like, in his 60s or something like that. So he still got time to live. So it is unfortunate. But.
It's unfortunate, and because we're so close to it, like. So I had this conversation about like the importance of Obama, right? Because a lot of people be like, he ain't do nothing for black people, and I say, I say, one, we're too close to it, right? So you don't know, like, it's like the butterfly effect, right? You don't know, like, just like Julio, him putting that up there led to this, led me to meeting you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what effects these things are having on the world, and it's like, so just then you go stay with Obama. It's like, I tell people all the time, like, Obama. So my son, I said, until Donald Trump, all my son knew was a black president. Like, when we was growing up, we was like, we'll never be. I know I said we'd never be a black president.
Likewise.
Yeah. So it's like, he doesn't even have to imagine that, because it was real to him. So you don't know, like, so because that floodgate has opened, like, you can't close it now. Like, Pandora's box open. So it's not, whether you agree with his politics or not, just him being in there, that butterfly effect is going to be crazy. Like, and we haven't seen it because the kids that grew up on Obama, and that they don't have to imagine if there's going to be a black president or not. You don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it just, they don't have that limitation. Like, I never thought about being president, because I always assumed that there would never be a black president. You know what I mean? Right. Now, like, you got these kids that's probably gonna, you got young black boys and girls that's seeing the black president, like, I could do that. And obviously, there's only going to be a handful of them. Not even a handful that we're gonna see. We may never see another black president in our lifetime, but just the pursuit of that is going to land them someplace that they wouldn't have been otherwise. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, man. And I'm with you. Like, I was there with you. Like, like 2008 is when I graduated law school. So that's when it was very exciting times. I felt very inspired. So I'm. And it kind of made me want to. I think in terms of butterfly effect, I think it had a lot to do with us pursuing All Figured Out, because we kind of started around the time when President Obama was in his last year, like around 2016, and we're like, we got to do something. Like we can't have a black president and not show out, and kind of show the world what like expose to other professions and whatnot, because when we were younger, I'm sure everybody heard, like people say, to motivate us, like you could be a lawyer, a doctor, a president of the United States. So it's funny that we're we have all those elements here, you know. And you know, you mentioned President Obama isn't here, but you know, we have all those.
You want me to get him on the phone?
Things.
Hold up, I'll get him on the phone.
Okay. Right. So I mean, I think that's dope. So you know, we just gotta continue like to focus on the right things, man, and you know, and kind of like what you said, it's like it was symbolic. It was a symbolic thing more than anything, and that's not nothing. You know, that's the symbolism. You know, brings hope, and that could drive your whole life. So you know, so I'm with you with that for sure.
Yeah, and I think we because we're so close to it, right? To it happening, like we only be 4 years removed out of him being in office. Like we don't like the symbolism. It's not going to hit us as hard. It's like, you know, Jordan. Like you can't never. You know, we had this debate who's the GOAT, right? Jordan. Like you can't imagine the NBA without Jordan, right? Because I mean, what he represented, like what he did on the court, but also what he represented as a sneaker icon, a brand ambassador, what he represented to American culture. This is like he's a symbol of I want to be like Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people still like, you know, people are debating whether he's the greatest of all time, and you know, whatever. It's just like it's one of those things where we actually, I think we're too close to it to really understand. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
But on the flip side, the backlash of the Trump administration
that's
also will possibly have an effect too. Hopefully it doesn't negate you know all of the things Obama's done or the impressions that Obama's left, because I feel like young kids now, they remember an orange president, you know what I mean? You know, who may have came in and did some destruction.
So this is what I hope happens. It's funny because I did the earlier live, right? This is what I hope happens with. So the live was called I called it Donald Trump is the GOAT. And the reason I say he's the GOAT is because he's literally like Teflon Don. Like I don't know anybody else ever that has been associated with the criminality he's been associated with, and the people he's been associated with, like whether morally, whatever, the moral transgressions and all that, and still like walking around like nothing's happened. So what I hope is, especially since Giuliani got disbarred, at least temporarily, is that something happens like legally, so we know like that's not cool,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
accountability.
I mean, some type of accountability, bro. Like please let there be some type of accountability in this world. And because I mean, the stuff he was doing is it's
crazy.
The insurrection, it's something, man. Like I don't know I just want to see something like at least get some charges. But you're right, Dr. Taur. Like it's like that's also that. So I don't think Donald Trump becomes president without Obama.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the butterfly effect. You know what I'm saying? Like
he doesn't become president. Okay.
Yeah, like you don't. I think
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, because Obama, going back to like, you know, expectations and all that type of stuff, like Obama literally did. I mean, obviously he's a human being, so he got some, you know, skeletons and all that type of stuff, but nothing came out, right? And I'm pretty sure if they could have found it and put it on black, I think the smartest thing he did was write his book, though. You ever read his book or listened to his book?
I had the book at my house, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, so he kind of put
The Audacity of Hope.
The Audacity of Hope. Yeah.
Okay,
So he kind of put his dirt out there. So it's like if you he did the Eminem, I call it the Eminem trick, Eminem 8 Mile trick. Like he just put it all out there. So now you can't, what you gonna really say? But for me, so
he spoke about the trees too.
Trees. He
did.
The trees. I think he talked about cocaine in there.
Oh really?
Jeez.
I think so. Yeah. I don't run with it. Obama, you know what I mean? Don't send your people at me. Don't run with that. But I believe he talked about sniffing coke. He said he tried it once and didn't like it. I think he said it. And then we talked about the weed, talked about like, you know, trying to figure out life, right? Yeah. But Obama, the reason I say without Obama, you don't get, because Obama was so like, he did everything, like he played their game and won. Like he went to the right schools, right? We always say like you gotta go to the right schools, you know what I'm saying? And he won, right? He won the president. That's the highest, one of the most powerful positions in the world. And he won, and they tried so much, like and he ain't just win, like he spanked them, you know what I'm saying? And just like, so that's a good sign in a way of America. But then like the backlash is Trump, and he really was talking to people, you know, their fears and or the economy of black people. And what was great about him is like he had a black wife, like she wasn't. I mean, I think that matters, right? He had a black wife, and he was polished and he has great orator, but I never got the sense that he was not black. You know what I'm saying? Like he played ball, he barbecue. You know what I'm saying? He probably used cocoa butter.
Throwing the trays down.
Yeah.
He showed his jump shot for sure.
The crazy thing is he had a black wife, but he had a white mother. So people don't remember that he had a white mother, but he had a black wife.
Black wife, and she was black. Like she's black. Yeah. Like she was not. And I think those things matters. And we could if y'all want to come back, we could dig deeper. Like symbolically, that matters, yo. Like, I don't know if he becomes. I definitely don't think he get the black woman support if his wife was white.
Yeah, and he was in Toastmasters too. He was a Toastmaster.
He's a Toastmaster.
Obama, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. I mean,
and Trump, his wife was an immigrant, and he was trying to build a wall.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. So what have y'all been doing to document it? Because this time went by fast, so I gotta get y'all back. So what have y'all been doing? So I know y'all want to talk about that for sure. What have y'all been doing at the document your progress, and what type of stuff y'all got coming up with the programs?
Well, what we trying to do is in the next few months we're trying to build a system where young individuals will come with us for prep, right? We're trying to build a prepping system for these standardized tests.
Okay.
The LSATs and the MPATs for people who you know on the cusp of thinking about law school and med school. We're trying to give them the motivation and some of the tools that they need to you know try to get 99% on some of these exams to make it a little easier for entry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of it.
Okay. Legally, y'all nonprofit?
Nah, we didn't do the 501c3. Nah, we didn't do all that yet. Nah. Y'all
filed for LLC. Y'all got or?
I mean, I have my LLC. So
Julio, man, don't answer no more. No. Let's talk offline, Julio. Let's talk, Dr. Taur. We're gonna talk online about the Julio. Don't answer no more because you're gonna make. What section were you in, Julio? So Dr. Taur, sections are very important in law school. What's
the best section? Honestly, in terms of best section, listen, section 3, in terms of authenticity, like in terms of like dynamic personalities, section 3, hands down. Section 1 and 2, you know, you guys were polished. Like you guys were the polished one. You guys all look like like law students. But for sure, shout out to my boy Dro. He's Evandro. He's running for city council in Boston. Please vote for Dro, Evandro Carvalho. People like that. Come on, section 3. You got those people were authentic. Those people were like, you know, the truth. But so
this is what we're gonna do though. This is what we're gonna do. Because I know we gotta. I think we got. Is it a hard stop at an hour? I don't know. Because we had.
It's all about Dr. Taur. Dr.
Taur. Yeah. All right. So this is what we're gonna do, Dr. Taur. So since Julio ain't do this with y'all, so what we're gonna do behind the scenes, right? We're gonna come up with a strategy so y'all can get this money. It's a lot of money out there. Black is hot right now, so y'all can get a lot of this what you call it? Grant money. Y'all get a lot of grant money. We're gonna talk about how you're gonna get it. I could briefly talk about it here, but I charge people a lot of money for this, but I ain't gonna charge y'all. We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
How to get this grant money, how you to structure it.
That's what's up.
So for everybody that's listening, there's multiple ways you could go about getting grants. You can form your own nonprofit, but you could also partner with a nonprofit if you have an LLC. Well, you don't even necessarily have an LLC, but it's good to have like some type of legal structure in place so you are not opening yourself up to liability. But we'll talk about the strategy offline, you know what I'm saying? And behind the scenes. So
appreciate that.
Yeah, so y'all gotta so how are you going to where can people find you? Well, it's everything is all figured out. How you spell it? I put it up on the screen. Y'all spell it like black folks spell it.
Yeah, you spell like like, so it's all figured out. The only word that's misspelled is figured. So spell Figurt. And we did that, for branding purposes. We can make sure that it's something that we could copyright and have
Trademark.
The trademark. Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not trademark. Well, copyright. We can talk about that. Yeah. So we're gonna set something up to do a strategy session, and y'all gotta because y'all got a lot of work to do. But I like the way y'all going. So Dr. Tour, you familiar with the pack?
Oh yeah, the book.
Yeah. The guys out of Newark. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I read that. I actually read that book before I took my exams. That was definitely an inspiration for me. Yeah, because it followed what I was going through a little bit.
Okay. So what I want y'all to do, this is y'all homework assignment for the people. I want y'all to get y'all stuff together as far as like, so we're gonna help y'all with the legal. I'm gonna help you with the legal stuff, right? In the grants and all that. Well, I need y'all to so y'all got the YouTube channel, but I need y'all to have like the y'all packed story. 2 kids from Brooklyn. And it's the cheat code. You could just dictate it, right? Or just have somebody interview you and have somebody else like write it, but y'all need to get y'all story. Like how did y'all, because both of y'all got interesting stories on how y'all became one. Y'all didn't even, it wasn't even on y'all radar until much later on in your college. And Julio, you was after school, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like just figure that, like, so that, and then like, have like the mission statement that obviously that's gonna be on the website and all that type of stuff. And just like why y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Just like, yo, we just need brothers that look like us, brothers and sisters, to be authentic, you know what I mean? But I need y'all to do that so you can get that out there.
Jeez, look at that. Look at that. We're trying to get it all figured out right now.
All figured out. Y'all definitely don't got it all figured out. Y'all got to put y'all got to come up with a somewhat figured out.
Somewhat figured out.
Somewhat figured out. We trying to figure it out.
For sure.
Yeah, it's funny because we always say that. We always say that we're trying to figure it out. And thank you so much. Like we need that. We need that. And the whole thing is like no one has it all figured out. But that's like the brand is almost ironic in a way because there's just like you, there's people out there that can help you figure things out. So that's essentially what we trying to do, and that's what you're trying to do for us. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. We go like I said, we going. This is I think we got it. This is y'all movement. I'm here to help, and in whichever way I can help. So we're gonna like I said, behind the scenes, we'll talk more in detail behind the scenes about how we strategically move and how strategically I should move and how you should be set up. Because that, like I see something. I see this is one of those things that I think is gonna. Y'all don't know how big it's gonna be. I don't know how big it's gonna be. It's gonna have its own life of its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what's up. Appreciate that, man.
Because like I think it's needed. One, so when Dr. Taur or when somebody comes behind them, they singing Biggie at the staff meeting, that people ain't looking at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, like when you quote on Big and they like, yo, what's wrong? What's up with this dude? You know what I mean? Like, like being but I do think we are in a new, unfortunately, because of COVID, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, and unfortunately because of what happened to these people that have been killed, dying on camera and all that type of stuff, and George Floyd happening while we on COVID, when we had no choice but to stop and pause and reflect. I think we are in a new wave of authenticity, where people want to say. And I think like, Black people are hot right now. So I don't know how long we're going to be hot as far as like being in a corporate America wanting to include us and all that type of stuff. And now you got people talking about critical race theory. That's a topic. Like I was an Africana studies major. I said, yo, we've been on critical race theory. Like, y'all just getting here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's hot, but it's a good thing that it's hot. And like, like even with the Chauvin, whatever his last name is, like even with that verdict, is like the verdict we want, but at least it's a start. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Right.
5 years ago, he probably wouldn't even been charged. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. 5 years exactly. That's crazy.
Go ahead,
That's
Joe.
ridiculous. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we come. I think we wrapped it up. So y'all got any parting words? One, y'all coming back on or what, man?
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, Steve. Yeah, it was fun for sure.
Yeah. Y'all got to come back on. Probably gotta get y'all on separately too, because we gotta get Dr. Taur story. Well, one, I gotta get it. I ain't even get the Julio story out.
Oh,
the Julio versus Julio. And this dude was like,
right.
That's not my name, son.
Nah, I'm a nice guy, guys. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. So we but now y'all gonna come back as a collective and individually. That'll give me like 4 more podcasts. I'm doing a cheat code right now. Put it on on wax that y'all gonna come back. But do y'all got any parting words or where people can find y'all at, where they can I'm assuming y'all don't got the donation up, but anything, any parting words y'all got?
We're all figured out at Dr. Taur. Just positive thoughts, people. Think positively, you know. Have a safe what's 4th of July, you know. I know it's America's independence. Our independence was a few days ago, but American independence.
Yeah, and the quote that I've drummed up, you know, conditions drive decisions. That's essentially like my whole approach, you know, you know, we're out here just, you know, like Detravius, you know, Dr. Taur, myself, we're out here trying to change these conditions, man. So to affect, you know, these young kids' decisions, and hopefully, you know, the corporate America will be very different, you know, than how it is right now. And all figured out, you know, spell Figurt, FIGURT. Please support us, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, and thank you, brothers, again. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate what y'all doing. Thanks for coming on. I got two things I'm running with. I'm still with. I'll give y'all credit though. 2020 gave us 2020 vision. I like that. And the conditioning drives decisions. That's
conditions drive.
That's what I got too. See, that's that public school education coming out. I wrote conditions drive decisions, and I said something completely different. So we're gonna close it out. So as always, if you like this podcast, if you like this is a live too. Please like. If you want to on the pod, please like it. And if you're doing the live or you're gonna listen to this and watch it later, please like it and share it. If you're on a podcast, please like, rate, and review it and share it. It's greatly appreciated. Again, this has been another episode of Read, Define, Print the Show. I have Julio, Dr. Taur, and how you Mathieuesque? How you pronounce it?
Yeah, Mathieuesque, like statuesque, Mathieuesque.
Yeah, this dude always got some crazy thing going on, man. Hey, one quick story. This dude hit me before we sign off. I just thought about this with the long ass name. This dude had we was playing Words with Friends, right? This dude hit me with a word that was like 26 letters long, bro. I said, "Yo, you are cheating, son." Like I forgot.
No, you can't cheat with that.
It was. You know what it was? It was it's gonna come to me. It's not gonna come to me on pod. I can't even get the joke off. Nah, it was because he was like, "Yo, I'm Haitian, bro. I know that we're further ado or something like that. Further."
Oh, ado. That's just what 5
words.
Nah,
you had a. It wasn't ado. Ado was one of the words where you got me with a whole bunch of points, but it was another word. Never mind. I'm sorry, people. The joke is not going to hit. I gotta call Dr. Taur, brother, and ask him to write me some jokes because it's not going to work. But again, thank y'all for doing the podcast. Thank everybody for listening. I need y'all to do the lives, man. Y'all be getting the numbers up after, but you know I appreciate that too. But the lives are where's that? But all right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Until the next time, peace.
All right, peace.